We are absolutely in a season where a lot of us start thinking about the new year and what we want to do differently or better or what we want to achieve. Today's video is all about goal setting for notaries. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Hi, my name is Jennifer Cooper of JKC Mobile Notary, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here today because I get to talk about something I really enjoy, and that's goal setting. I'm very much aware that millions of people set new goals each year, but I'm also acutely aware that millions don't. So for those of you who do or don't, let's talk about setting goals for the new year. What is a goal? I expect that most of you know what a goal is, but for the sake of this video, let's define it. A goal is a desired result or outcome that an individual or an entity strives to achieve. Goals provide direction, purpose, and motivation, guiding efforts towards specific achievements. They can be short-term or long-term, and they are typically based on personal or organizational aspirations. Goals are essential for planning and decision-making and measuring progress. So if you're asking yourself, why do I need a goal? Well, there's so many reasons why goal setting is important. And for you notaries and business owners, it's almost vital to your growth and success. Setting goals is crucial for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs who run businesses on their own, for several reasons. Despite the absence of a larger team, solopreneurs like us can benefit significantly from the clarity, motivation, and strategic focus that goals provide. Here are some key reasons why a solopreneur should set goals. Number one, direction and purpose. Two, motivation and focus, time management, resource allocation, measuring progress, decision-making, continuous improvement, risk management, adaptability and innovation, customer focus, brand building, financial management, and work-life balance. I hope you can see that goal setting is a valuable practice for all of us, notaries and business owners alike, providing a roadmap for success, maintaining motivation, and enhancing overall effectiveness in managing and growing a solo business. Let's talk about the types of goal setting. We've covered that setting goals is important, and it is, but setting a goal without a plan is essentially making a wish and hoping it'll come true. So let's talk about the different types of goal-setting systems that will turn that wish into a legitimate and actionable goal. When I talk about goals and setting goals, I am not talking about the most common way or common time for setting goals. I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions. Though we are talking about setting goals for the new year, New Year's resolutions are, in fact, just writing down wishes. We are all familiar with these, and most of us have had the same experience when setting New Year's resolutions. Before January is done, we have mostly quit whatever new habit, routine, or goal we set to achieve. We don't ride those through to even February. There's a major reason for those common outcomes. Simply writing down a goal isn't enough. Goals have to have some thought and planning put into them. There has to be some sort of action plan on how you will achieve that goal. There are probably more than 15 or 16 types of goal-setting processes and systems out there. We don't have time to review all of them, so I want to cover the most commonly talked about here today. The first one is SMART goals. SMART goals is a goal-setting structure we'll be focusing on most today, and SMART goals stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. This framework provides a structured approach to goal setting, ensuring that objectives are well-defined, measurable, realistic, and time-bound. I like SMART goals because it helps us set goals that we can achieve. There's nothing wrong with shooting for the moon with your goals, but to meet those goals, to attain those goals, you need to set them in a way that makes it possible to achieve them. Have you ever met someone who has met their goal? Those people have a great deal of well-deserved pride in their achievements. Did you know that most people who achieve their goals achieve much more in their lives than those who don't? Number two is OKR, objective and key results. OKR is another goal-setting structure, but with fewer steps. Again, OKR stands for objectives and key results. This goal-setting framework originated in the 1970s in the 1970s at Intel and was later popularized by companies like Google. OKR is designed to align individuals and teams, organizations around common goals and measure their progress in achieving them. The framework is known for its simplicity, transparency, and effectiveness in driving focus and results. Objectives are qualitative goals, and key results are specific measurable outcomes. OKRs cascade down the organization, allowing for autonomy and flexibility at lower levels. Regular check-ins, transparency, and a focus on learning from failures contribute to a culture of continuous improvement. The framework emphasizes ambitious yet achievable goals with a scoring system to measure the success. OKRs promote outcomes over outputs and provide a structured approach to strategic alignment and progress tracking. The third model we're going to look at is the GROW model. It's another goal-setting process that's specifically a coaching and goal-setting framework with 4 stages. The first is goal. So you define a specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound SMART goal. 2, reality. Assess the current situation, resources, and challenges. 3, options. Brainstorm and explore various strategies and actions. 4, will. Way forward. Develop a concrete plan of action with specific steps and commitments. This model helps individuals gain clarity, take ownership of their goals, and create a practical plan for success. It is widely used in coaching and mentoring contexts for its simplicity and effectiveness. And number 4 is the backward goal setting. We're going to talk briefly about backward goal setting. It starts with a clear final goal and works backwards to identify the steps needed to achieve it. You define the ultimate objective, determine the last step, and then identify and plan each preceding step. This approach provides clarity, focus, and efficiency, making it particularly useful for long-term or complex goals. And the fifth system we're going to look at is the Eisenhower matrix. The Eisenhower matrix categorizes tasks, not so much goals, but people use this system for goal setting. So it categorizes tasking into 4 quadrants based on urgency and importance. Quadrant 1 is urgent and important. It requires immediate action is required, and it's a critical tasks. Quadrant 2 is not urgent, but important for long-term goals, proactive planning. Quadrant 3 is urgent, but not important, urgent, but not contributing significantly to goals, consider delegation. And number 4 is quadrant 4, not urgent, not important, neither urgent nor important. So minimize or eliminate that task. The goal is to prioritize quadrant 2 tasks for long-term success and minimize the time spent on less impactful activities. As you can see, there are many different ways to set your goals. But as I mentioned earlier, today we're going to focus on SMART goals. Okay, let's get into SMART goal setting. Again, the reason I really love this goal setting system and process is that it takes my sometimes grandiose goals and plans and forces them into a mold that I can achieve. So let's dive into the system's sections and how to use them when setting your New Year's goals. Let's start at the top with S, specific. In the SMART goal setting framework, the specific criterion emphasizes the need for clarity and precision in defining objectives. Here's an explanation of the specific aspect. Goals should be clear, well-defined. They should be specific. They should provide a clear understanding of what is to be accomplished, leaving no room for ambiguity, or confusion. For example, instead of setting a general goal like increase sales, a specific goal would be achieve 15% increase in monthly sales for product A by implementing a targeted marketing campaign. Here are some key points about this first section. Clear definition. Clearly articulate what the goal entails, leaving no room for misinterpretation. 2, the who, what, where, when. Address key questions about the goal by specifying who is involved, what needs to be accomplished, where it will happen, and when it will be achieved, and why it is important. Number 3, they're observable and measurable. Ensure that the goal is observable and measurable, allowing for easy tracking of progress and success. And number 4, eliminate vague or general terms that lead to confusion. That the goal should be specific, and that anyone reading it can understand what is expected. Okay, The M in the SMART goals stands for measurable, which means making sure your goals can be measured with numbers or clear criteria. This helps you track your progress and know exactly when you've achieved your goal. Here's a little bit simpler explanation. Make your goals specific and include numbers or clear ways to measure them. We're saying it twice because the example is, instead of saying make customers happier, say make customers 10% happier in the next 3 months by improving our service and asking them for feedback. You can see in this example that we have used numbers, set clear targets, and eliminated any guesswork. It's also important to have your own way of tracking your measurable part of your goal. How do you measure 10% happier? Maybe it's the number of reviews you got against the ones you didn't. You need a way to quantify that measurement. You need a way to quantify that measurement as well. In SMART goals, the A stands for achievable, which means making sure your goals are realistic and doable, which means your goals should be challenging, but still possible to accomplish. Here's an example of an achievable goal. Instead of setting a really hard goal, like increase sales by 500% in a month, set a goal that's still a stretch, but more realistic, like increase sales by 20% in the next 3 months. The key to making sure the achievable part of your goal is in fact achievable is to make sure that it, A, is possible to do. Make sure your goal is something you can realistically achieve with the resources and skills you have. Number 2, make sure challenging but not impossible. Set goals that push you a bit, but are still possible with effort and commitment. 4, consider limits. Consider any limits or restrictions affecting your ability to reach the goal. Like if you're trying to lift 300 pounds by the end of the year, but you weigh 85 pounds, right? What is within your ability to do, even stretching your ability? This is part of your SMART goal. This part of your SMART goal is not trying to rein you in or limit you, but it's there to help you be mindful of what you can achieve. Here's a notary example. My goal for 2024 is to earn $100,000 in income in the first 6 months of the new year. Okay, is this doable? Is it achievable? Well, that depends on you. Are you a brand new notary with no experience or a book of business? I would say this is an unrealistic goal that is not very achievable. But are you a notary who hit 80K last year? 100K is 20K in growth, which may be more achievable. Okay, let's move on to the R in SMART. In SMART goals, the R stands for relevant, which means making sure your goals are connected to what's important to you. Goals should be connected to your overall objectives or what you really care about. This one can trip people up. So here's an example. Instead of setting a goal that doesn't fit with your main focus, like learning an unrelated language or unrelated skill, set a goal that makes sense, like taking a course that helps with your job or joining a gym to help with your fitness goals. The key points of this section of SMART goals is, number 1, connect to what matters. Make sure your goal is related to your bigger plans and what's important to you. Number 2, be meaningful. Goals should bring value to your life or work and contribute to your success. Number 3 is avoid distractions. Choose goals that keep you on track and don't take you away from your main priorities. Making your goals relevant means setting targets that connect to what's important and contribute to your bigger plans. And last, but certainly not least, is the T in SMART goals. The T stands for time bound, which means setting a specific deadline for when you want to achieve your goal. Instead of saying lose weight, say lose 10 pounds in the next 2 months. There are some tips on how to make sure your goal is time bound. Set a deadline. Choose a specific date or time frame to finish your goal. Be realistic. Make sure the time frame is realistic for what you want to achieve. Stay on track. Having a deadline helps you stay focused and work towards your goal consistently. Making your goals time-bound means giving them a specific deadline, and this helps you stay on track, measure progress, and increase motivation to achieve your goal within a set time frame. Okay, this was a lot, but I want to make sure you understand how to write your goals so they fit within the SMART goal setting structure. When I first heard of SMART goals, I wrote a different goal for each letter, a goal for specific, a goal for measurable, and so on. I didn't fully understand what SMART system was and how it was to be applied to each goal. Each goal should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This will take some practice, especially if you're anything like I was. Writing our goals like lose weight, become financially stable, earn more money, don't work. I know I'm not the only one who's written their New Year's goals like this, but as we've learned, those are not goals as they are written. They are wishes and dreams. Now, I'm not bagging on Peter Pan when he said a wish is just a hope that hasn't come true yet, but I don't want these to be dreams. I want them to be reality. Don't you? Setting SMART goals will take some time. If you've ever set a SMART goal, you should, if you've never set one, I'm sorry, you should take time to start planning. Think about it and make a list. List the things you want to achieve. My family, my husband, son, and I take a trip the first weekend in January. Actually, our first time doing that was this year in 2023, but our second annual family planning trip will happen in January of next year. I don't remember where I first heard about this, but my husband and son aren't big on goal setting. So the first day there, I gave them both a legal pad and told them to write down everything they could want to accomplish, attain, whatever, write it down. They went to separate corners of the hotel room and just wrote. This took them around 20 to 30 minutes. When they came back, they had between 30 to 50 things on their list. We then did a process of elimination and made them qualify each of their items by how long it would take to achieve. For example, my son wrote that he wanted to learn Spanish. Well, we did a little Googling and figured out how long it would take to be fluent in Spanish. He put that time on his Spanish list item. The list had things like 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years. It's important to note here that you really only want a max of 5 to 6 goals a year, maybe 2 to 3 a quarter. Too many goals means something will inevitably fall off the list. So let's set ourselves up for success. Okay, back to their lists. We reviewed all the goals that had a 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month or 1 year time requirement together. From those goals, the guys picked 3 to 4 goals. The only requirement is that they needed at least 1 goal that would take a year and 1 goal that would take 6 months. That's how they picked their goals. From there, they rewrote their goals to fit the SMART goal outline. And I'm happy to tell you that by the end of this year, these guys will have achieved most of the goals they set that weekend in Monterey. One more thing. Having SMART goal isn't important, but how to revisit, manage, and track those goals. How do you do that? Not on a legal pad, I hope. One of the best goal focus planners I have ever used is the Full Focus Planner. This quarterly planner does an excellent job of bringing your goals from inception to fruition throughout the year. I'll link some of the great reviews of that planner in the description box. And I know this has been a lot, but if it's not clear, goal planning, setting, and all of the things is one of my most favorite end of year things to do. I'm so happy that you joined me today. And if you have stayed till the end, then I'd love to share one of my favorite goal setting quotes from Zig Ziglar. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. I love it. Remember, setting goals is a powerful way to give direction to your life and achieve meaningful success. Until next week, get to goal setting today. See you later.